Hey everybody, it's Mr. Mouse, and I hope you are doing well. Um, can you believe how beautiful it is outside today? I can't. Um, I've been trying to get outside and get some exercise while I can. And you should too. It's absolutely beautiful out. So, again, I miss you all very, very much. I hope that many of you have been staying safe and healthy right now. Um, and so, yeah, without further ado, we're going to get into this week's topic. So I decided, and this came from a student actually gave me this idea. I'm thankful to this student because this is just a wonderful idea. Um, uh, and I said, why not? We're going to take a look at some of these different, what I call performance groups, um, from this country, the United States, and all over the world. So, without further ado, all the world's a stage. A look at the different performance groups, which means, bands, choruses, from here and around the world. All right. And we're going to talk about this group here in just a minute. But first, let's think back really hard. Back before school had to close in March. There's a name we use for a group of people who get together to sing songs. Hmm. The word started with the letter C. Any ideas? Anyone? Ah, I think I remember it now. It's drum roll please, a chorus. Yes, I believe we talked about this. A chorus is a group of people that come together to sing music. It's usually more than 5 or 6 people. Um, the size doesn't usually matter. It's as long as people are coming together to sing a song. That's a chorus. It's usually a large group of people, but it doesn't have to be. Some are small choruses, some are large. And there are different kinds of choruses: gospel choirs, church choirs, school choirs. There are glee choruses, there are show choirs, a cappella choirs. We're going to take a look at a couple of them today. And all these different choruses or choirs practice the music before performing them. So they always have to, you know, look at the music and spend time working on it because you can't just go up there and start singing a song without never looking at it. That would be silly. All right. So, here's some examples of choirs. And I don't know if we got to look at some of these before we left, but just in case we didn't, here's one from the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. They're one of my favorite groups to listen to, particularly this song right here. This is a beautiful version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I'll skip a little ahead. You'll notice that in this choir, everybody's dressed really nicely. That's typical of most choirs. You dress up really nicely when you perform, and everybody usually dresses alike. Not always, though. It's not uncommon to sometimes have some instruments in the choir. as special guests. Now, this choir, they are rather large. I think there are a couple hundred people in the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Then, of course, I wanted to show you, there's the Vienna Boys Choir here. We're not going to have time for them today, but I wanted to put that in there just in case you're interested. There's the West Side Amazing Technicolors Show Choir. I kind of wanted to get to that very quickly. Wanted to get there.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Omaha West. Can you feel it? The spirit surrounds you. Won't you feel it? And now that it's found you. Won't you feel it? The feelings everywhere. Can you feel it? And the moments we waited for is coming true. It's coming true. And our hopes and our dreams will soon come shining through. Come shining through. And whatever the fates decide, we're all here together, side by side. The thing that we carry lights the way. The spirit is us.
So, this is called a show choir. I'll put it in full screen here for a second. They're called a show choir. And you'll notice that they're in costumes, they're dancing, and they, well, the dancing's called choreography. And that's what a show choir does. They usually do a little bit more modern songs. That's more common of show choirs. It's yeah, they do that, and that's the fun part about being in a show choir. We don't currently have a show choir at our school, but it would be fun if we did have one, right? Maybe someday. So that's the example of some choirs there. But I wanted to move on to not just choruses this week. Oh no. I wanted to look at some of the most unique, which means different but cool, bands and musical groups across the world. Are you ready? And my buddy Cusco from The Emperor's New Groove says, bring it on. All right. One of my favorite groups in the entire world is the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. They're an American rock band. I call them that. Well, I call them a rock orchestra. And that's what some people call them. And a rock orchestra is a rock band that contains orchestra instruments. So, instruments that you might see in an orchestra, like violins, cellos, those kind of instruments, string instruments. The Trans-Siberian Orchestra is unique because they'll take classical music that you hear by like Bach or Mozart or Beethoven, and they'll tweak it or rewrite some of it, and they'll make it their own. They'll add guitars and they'll add drums and they'll change up the rhythm a little bit, but they'll keep the main melody the same pretty much. All right? And you'll know some of the tunes in a second. And they've traveled all over the world. Their shows are really cool. They use a lot of laser lights and fog, and they use some fire, and they use special effects, and they have these, I think one time I saw like 30 screens on their stage or something like that. It's a cool show. They have the shows all over the country. It's incredible. So here's Christmas Canon Rock. They do a lot of Christmas shows. That's their most popular show. Skipping ahead. Let me skip ahead. Anybody know this song? Yeah, you might have heard this one at maybe some weddings or something. It's actually Pachelbel's Canon.
This night we pray our lives will show this dream he had. Each child still knows this night we pray our lives will show this dream he had. Each child still knows we pray.
So that's their Christmas special. And here's one of just their regular shows. Now this one is really cool right here. Skip ahead. Hang on. Now notice the electricity is actually the electricity right here is timed to the music. Cool, right? Yeah, that's the cool part. And there's all these lasers going on in the background, and there's some fire you might see in the back there. So I like that one for that reason. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, I try to go each year whenever I can. It's a lot of fun. The next group I wanted to talk about briefly was Riverdance. They're an Irish music and dance group. They're originally from Dublin. They combine singing and dancing, and they perform all over the world too. They started off just performing in Dublin and also in London, and they even performed for royalty, like the Queen of England. They practice a lot. And what's hard about being in their group is their dances have to be together at all times. No one is allowed to be off on their dances. But if you get in their group, it's a huge honor. It's a really big deal to be in their group. So yeah, they rehearse a lot. And they use some traditional instruments from Ireland, but they also use some instruments you might recognize. So here's some performance examples. I want to try the 1996 performance from Riverdance. This is a good one. Let's start right here. So notice all the ladies step at the exact same time. Their hands come down. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. Now they're using hard shoes as well. They leap at the exact same time as well. So all their dances are timed together. That was a video from 24 years ago, if you can believe that. And let's take a look at the finale here. That's a good example too. Gonna skip ahead. Again, they're all together. Nobody is moving on their own. They're either moving as two people together or as a group. Pretty cool, huh? So, River Dance has always been a group I enjoy watching. All right, there's one more group I want to show you before we finish for today, and that is the Blue Man Group. Now, they are also a performance art group that started off in the 1980s. They perform songs using everyday items like pipes, metal, and all of their shows include some science or technology, lights, and you guessed it, as you can tell from the pictures here, they wear black shirts and blue masks. And they've also got groups that are all over the world. So, for the Blue Man Group, you're going to be pretty impressed at what you see. So watch. So they are making music using these pipes and also some drums and guitar back here. But mostly, it's these pipes that they're making music from. Cool, huh? So, those are some of the different. I just wanted to kind of show you some of the different groups from all over. Most of them that we saw were from this country, but some of these groups were from all over the world. So I know this lesson was a little bit long, so if you needed to take a break in between, that's okay. I hope everybody's doing well, and again, I miss you all. And feel free to message me anytime on Hangouts, as long as it's not too late in the evening. Um, and I hope to talk to you soon. Take care.